Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Maps come with me. No. When do we start?
I'll cinch up these headphones for my head isn't as giant as Zach's over here.
Jesus, I got my 5 clean seconds, and that's how we start it.
Yes.
Hey, everyone, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's a three-way tonight on the show.
Oh, yeah.
It's our annual tradition of, hey, there's a Thanos movie, so I guess we'll get the Thanos guy.
Yeah, sound guy's here.
Thank you for having me, guys. This is really cool. Thanks for having me on again.
It's not that cool.
We've really grown close over the last 72 hours.
Hey, that's all right. It could be worse, right?
At least we had dinner first, so.
We showered and everything.
We
so
did, yes.
Also goes by the name of Josh, not just sound guy.
He's sound guy. It's on his Twitter handle, I'm known as sound guy. That's how he identifies himself.
I take pride in the stuff that I put out for you guys. I hope everybody likes it. And if you've been sending hate letters about the intro or the extra pieces, then I haven't been getting them, so.
Oh, we get hate letters for totally different reasons.
I love it when we get hate mail.
Remember when we used to have the segment of the show, Irrational Hate People?
I mean, I can only do it when people send irrational hate.
So I think we're doing something right that we're not being irrationally hated upon recently.
Yay?
What do you mean, yay? There's not yay, question mark. Yay, as in we're doing well.
Things for me.
What things for you?
Well, it's Free Comic Book Day on Saturday. Come out. Those comics will only be out that day unless I stick them in a quarter bin later on. But beyond that, it's true. What I end up doing is I end up hanging on to them and just recycling them next year.
Oh, okay. They're just as free next year as they were this year.
Well, just for the one day. But yeah, this will be happening on Saturday. 30% off everything except for new releases. Also going on through Saturday, and a Hellboy Library Edition 1 through 6 raffle. $1, $10, 3 tickets, $20.
Wait, rephrase that. Not $1, $10. 1 ticket for $10.
There we go.
3 for $20.
That's what I meant. It's a terrible business strategy. You give me $1, I'll give you 10.
Things,
and then you also might win a raffle.
And then you'll get 30% off.
Oh, God, that's a terrible business plan.
Everybody loses, and everybody wins.
I mean, I don't, but...
Well... Sounds not heard on the show in some time.
My turn to make those sound effects on here.
We've mellowed out in our mid-100s. We're just drinking tea on the show recently.
I realize that. Yeah, what's up with the tea now, guys?
It was wintertime. We'll transition back to the amber beverage when school's not in session. Well, it's a school night for me. I got to get up early and work hard.
When Jared got a new job, he was afraid of his public image changing, so he started talking about drinking less on the podcast.
Yeah,
when I tried to do the drinking game in October, he was like, "But what about my image?"
Well, it's not my image.
Like, you can have one drinking game where you're like, "Hey, be safe, kids."
We've been specific. We were specifically told that we need to project a solid company image.
Wait till you get to the end of this show, because I got something planned.
Oh, God. Oh, that's right. Oh, yes. That's. I was trying to figure out how that was going to work when we discussed this idea, but I cannot wait, actually.
But, yeah, the end of the show,
I'll just say that
brand
at
new.
one point I was a health teacher, and that's the hat I'm wearing, because those are discussions you have as a health teacher.
They're not, but we're moving on.
Have you ever taught health?
I mean, to you. And look what happened.
Yeah. No, you didn't teach me health. You tried to impose your will upon me.
But we're going to move on, as we do each and every week, to the pop culture news.
Insert my cool sound effect.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Sonic the Hedgehog had its
first... It's really going to make editing easier for you, isn't it? Oh, sound guy tells me to do this. I might as well.
Thank God that drop I do every single time. Control-C, Control-V, baby.
That's half of my life right there, folks.
In the space bar.
Sonic the Hedgehog had its very first trailer. And oh man, has this thing just been getting beat up on the internet.
I finally found something I can't stand to watch any more than any of the DC movies.
This thing, man. I'm not going to rag on it too much just because everybody else already has
Don't worry, I will.
Death. Then go right ahead.
What is going on with it? First of all, you've got the backing track to Gangster's Paradise over and over. It felt like a fan trailer, like some kid who learned how to edit with Cool Edit Pro and Adobe and whatever the popular video editing software is right now. And
okay, old man.
Whatever
the kids are into.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the cloud? I'm shaking my fist at it like Abe Simpson.
No, the cloud is where your dad is stored.
Screw you, okay? Screw you.
What was even worse than the look of Sonic, I think, was how bad all the jokes were. If those were the good jokes that they put in the trailer, boy, the bad ones throughout that movie, they're going to be awful.
Yeah, I guarantee this movie is going to be under 90 minutes so they can get it screened as many times as possible to try and recoup some cash because this thing's going to bomb.
Here's some things about this trailer. How many times can we get in the sound effects that you know from Sonic the Hedgehog?
Well, to be fair, the start of the trailer was promising, like the first 5 seconds.
Oh, and they bring the golden rings out over the Paramount logo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was promising.
Okay,
I'm
that
like,
was
all
good.
right,
Yeah.
all right. And then it was everything was downhill from there, every single thing. James Marsden talking to another CG character because this is a low-key sequel to Hop.
Is that for real?
No.
Okay.
It just looks exactly the same, but worse.
Here's my feeling about this. Like, they're trying to, like, drum up Sonic the Hedgehog, but, like, the original Sonic, the kids that are going to see this movie don't know the original Sonic or the original. They had that corny line, every hero has a Genesis.
Or a Mega Drive.
I'm actually on board for that line, so I'm sorry, guys.
Every hero has a Sega CD.
Every hero has a Sega Dreamcast.
Every hero has a Sega 32X.
Whatever happened to the Dreamcast? That was short-lived.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing redeemable about the Dreamcast.
There were some good games on there.
Like
Terrible
what?
controller.
Yeah, with, like, the place where the screen was supposed to
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Nah,
It's just ahead of its time.
the Sega Saturn. I thought of another one.
Ooh, wow.
Wait, hang on. Every hero has a Lynx. No, that was Atari. What was the handheld one for Sega?
Game Gear.
Every
Yes,
hero
Game
has
Gear.
a Game Gear.
I will give this, the Game Gear it had the color screen and it felt like a Genesis controller. I got behind that.
I'm sure there was a Sonic Game Gear. I'm sure there were 7 of them. But whatever. This looks like trash. Jim Carrey looks fine in the last shot.
Yeah, I bought the last shot. So that also tells, like, the movie something's going to happen where he transforms because of Sonic and so on and so forth. And
I will put $50 down right now that says that's the final shot of the movie to be like a teaser of next time we're going to do it right.
but there won't be a next time because this movie is going to barely make money.
I guarantee that's the last shot of the movie.
I think you
Where it's
saw...
like he's beat Sonic, has defeated him, and it's just this whole like next time Sonic, and he turns like it's just the last shot of the trailer.
Or it's the shot right before a final battle.
No, it's that one of those things of like next time we'll do it, or like what they did in the terrible X-Men Apocalypse movie. It's like next time we're gonna have our cool '90s suits. They don't in the Phoenix, but whatever. Oh, speaking of Dark Phoenix, why not segue?
From one bad movie to another.
With the Dark Phoenix reshoots, and remember, we broke it on this show, or it's also not definitely confirmed, definitely still a rumor, that Dark Phoenix was 2 movies, it's now 1.
You heard from a guy who heard from a guy who knew a guy that knew someone that heard.
It's not that many levels, but sure.
Close enough. It would not hold up in a court of law. It's definitely hearsay.
But that the Dark Phoenix ending was changed from fighting a big, giant, flaming bird in space...
Why? Because that'd be
to,
awesome.
wait for it, to fighting some guys on a train.
Sounds less expensive is what that sounds like.
Oh boy!
Is that guy Tom Cruise? Is it a remake of Mission Impossible? Is it the first Mission Impossible?
We just got something close to that with Deadpool with the big truck chase.
So you're telling me we're getting Murder on the Orient Express?
Just for the finale.
Or I want to say GoldenEye also has a
Ooh,
running up a train.
yeah. But we're talking about good train sequences here.
That's it. That movie's gonna suck too.
You know it's special when Josh comes because we talk about all the crap movies.
Oh no! I was thinking about this week. I'm like,
Oh, yes.
at least we're talking about like something fun and good this week.
We're building up to it.
Because my calendar for the year is, if it's not like a big movie coming out, it's basically weird crap.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, you don't even know.
I have a general feeling.
Like, remember that time Superman shot a porno? We're doing that one.
I don't remember that time at all. And
Remember that time Captain America was a werewolf? We're doing that one.
See, I could that kind of interests me a little
Remember
bit.
that time Lois Lane was black for a day? We're doing that one.
Okay, I like that.
No, don't. it's
Multiple equalities. It's equality on many levels.
Oh no, it's not.
Oh boy.
Remember that time Shaquille O'Neal starred in a superhero movie?
I do remember that.
We're doing that one.
Shazam.
No, that was
Oh, not Shazam. That was
you're thinking of
Shaq Fu.
You're thinking of
That was his
Kazam.
rap
That's
album.
a video game and a rap album and a nickname. No, we're doing Steel.
Oh, I purposely forgot about that.
So you went from a movie about a genie to a video game / album. You know what? We'll do that. We'll do reviews of all 4 of Shaq's albums. I've never heard a single track off them.
I still have the first one. So if you want to borrow it, let me know. Shaq Diesel, I think it was.
Shaq. By borrow, he means take it from me and never return it.
Also a nickname.
Goodwill that shit.
I hope people aren't hoping for like big deep dives of like, this is comic book history. I'm like, here's all the weirdest stuff I could find. That's what we're doing this year.
Okay.
So let's enjoy a good movie for once. Spoilers.
If we can get to it, ever.
Along with CBS, Nickelodeon is going to be introducing a Star Trek show for kids. Why not? It's an animated show.
Is it going to be like the episode where Picard becomes a kid and Guinan is a kid and
like,
Rose a kid?
That's a terrible episode. It's like a couple of
It's not a bad episode.
Yes, it is. A couple of kids steal a starship and they go on wacky adventures.
How the hell did kids steal a starship?
I don't know. Have I seen the show?
What does that say about people in Starfleet? That even kids can run the ship? You're devaluing the skills needed to run a starship.
I mean, the computer does most of it.
You're devaluing the skills needed to run a starship.
Star Trek at this point, I feel like that's a tough nut to get kids into with everything else out there. So yeah, definitely do an animated kid show. Try and get them a bite of the apple. Make them fans later on in life.
Will it be better than the animated series from the original series?
You know, I've seen every episode of that. Want to know what I remember?
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
The pterodactyls. That's all
I don't remember.
I remember actually liking the
anything.
animated series.
Zach
though,
once
so-
had a traumatic experience with some pterodactyls.
And half of what I remember from the animated series is all because of Swear Trek bringing him back.
Yeah.
Swear Trek is probably my
Top
favorite,
notch.
one of my favorite Twitter handles. Probably top 5, top 10.
All those Star Trek related Twitter things. That and Riker Googling.
Riker Google. Oh, Worf's emails. Do you follow Worf's
I
emails?
don't. I see it pop up from time to time.
You should
but
follow
no.
Worf's emails. Is also a good one.
Another one I follow is Picard Management Tips.
Oh yes, I follow.
I think it's all.
That's
the
a little
same
more
guy.
serious, though. That's a little more serious.
It gets me inspired for the day, though, you know?
Before we talk about Endgame, because that's all there is to talk about this week, there is barely any news. Endgame, in its opening weekend, I'm not going to list them here, but it broke over 100 movie records.
That's a lot of records.
That's a lot of records. It turns out 1 or 2 people went to see it. Considering it crossed 1.2 billion in its opening weekend.
I think it sums it up by saying we thought we were going to the same movie at the same place, and we were literally in different theaters when we went to see it.
Oh, were we?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you were.
exactly.
I just never
there were
looked.
so many movies, and I commented to the guy who was taking tickets. I was like, "Wow,
Every
7
screen.
theaters showing Endgame and like 1 Captain Marvel and 1 another one." And he goes, "Oh, we just canceled another one and put Endgame in that thing too." So it was all Endgame.
And then
Yeah.
Some people like to say, like, superhero movies are killing film. You know what's keeping the lights on?
Superhero movies.
Damn right.
By the way, some Worf emails. By the security personnel. Fight Club is canceled this week. Worf. O'Brien. What would happen if someone energized a transporter console slider too slowly? Worf. Barkley. There is no such thing as a butter batleth. By definition, batleths are very sharp. Worf.
Great. And let's just roll through these.
Commander Riker. Again, I apologize. Worf.
So Jim Starlin did some interviews this week, including revealing who Thanos is based off of. Did you see this?
No, I didn't. I missed this.
Isn't
completely.
it
I'm
Dark Side?
so intrigued.
What 80s sitcom was the inspiration for Thanos and Lady Death?
Can I get a hint?
My 3 dads.
3
Men and a Baby.
It was Cheers.
No, don't give me. Oh, you need to give me a hint.
Okay, fine. It was Sam and Diane. How's that for a hint?
Cheers. Oh, yeah. It's where everybody knows your name. And everybody's glad you're game.
But yeah, he said that Thanos and Lady Death were based off of Sam and Diane.
How can you... no, Sam... You cannot equate Sam with Thanos, except for Sam always loses, I guess.
Well, it was unrequited love
Yeah, but Sam didn't go around killing the people of Boston or the patrons of the Cheers bar.
that you know of.
I'm pretty certain...
That was season 10.
Yeah, when Norm walked in the bar, he didn't shank him.
I don't know enough about Cheers to make a statement about Sam and Diane, but sure.
What else we got? Comic book news, a little bit. Batman/Superman is relaunching as a title. It's going to be spinning out of all of this Batman Who Laughs stuff, where the Batman Who Laughs is an evil version of Batman who's also the Joker from a dark dimension. Will be infecting 6 heroes. What 6? Who the hell knows?
The Sinister Six.
Wrong universe.
You know what? I tried.
But maybe you can find more about this story this week in a 25-cent comic that DC's releasing. 32 pages.
Wow, that's less than a penny a page. They're paying you to read it.
I think I might lose money on shipping costs.
They're paying you to read it.
Like, it's so close to being a wash. I'm with how much it costs to ship things.
Are there 6 heroes in the DC universe outside of Batman and Superman?
Yeah.
Aquaman?
There's Wonder Woman. That's the Trinity.
Okay. So you have Wonder Woman. Is she going to get infected?
Could be. Who knows?
She seems like
you
she-
got to read the
she-
book. Batman
takes-
Superman relaunching.
I don't got a quarter to spare.
And from there, we will move on to top 10 comics for the month of March.
Ooh, here we go. This is exciting. You're not going to talk
I'm
about
reading
the
some of these.
Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover? You've been raving about it on Twitter.
No, because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, pick that up if you...
Okay, so it's good.
There is something I was shocked to see. Like, legitimately shocked.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so buy it, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Well, you talk about it all the time on Twitter, but you never mention it on the damn show.
Well, I got sent a PDF last week. It's out this week. It's not like I got like a huge advanced review copy.
Okay.
But the writer put it out as Twitter. He's like, "Hey, comics friends, like if anyone wants it, just shoot me a DM." I'm like, cool. I'm not your friend, but you mind sending it to me?
I saw that. Like, you should have done like something like a GIF, like slide into your DMs for some of that Ninja Turtles.
So he sent it to me. He's like, "Don't spoil it." I'm like, "Got it. Thanks."
Oh, that was good. Okay, top 10 comics for the month of March
Yes.
at the end of April. Go figure. Number 10.
That's when they can send out the list.
The top 10 comics of the month.
We thought it best to break it to you slowly.
Number 10.
Justice League number 20. Scott Snyder's Justice League. I don't have a lot. I'm not reading it. I don't have a lot to say.
Number 9.
Hey, another one I didn't read. Spider-Man City at War, number 1. That's in continuing adventures of the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man character. Since I don't have a PlayStation 4, I didn't bother reading the comic.
And because you didn't read it, that's why it didn't get to number 8.
Well, I still bought the damn thing.
Number
for the
8.
Store. Number 8, number 7, we're going to combine because it was Amazing Spider-Man 18 and Amazing Spider-Man 17. Hunted with Kraven the Hunter, his kid, and the lizard. And the lizard's kid. Lots of kids.
Number 6.
That one that everyone either loves or hates. Heroes in Crisis number 7.
Number 5.
To be fair, I really like that book. But
Sounds like a bingo hall. 6, 5, 7.
people like,
The pick 3, pick 4 numbers tonight.
I love watching people get angry about things on Twitter. Number 5 and number 4, combining them again.
What the hell?
It's the same title.
You're
Two
taking
in
my
a row.
numbers away.
Fine. Number 5 is Batman 66. Not enough references to the Batman 66 show. Missed opportunity.
Number 4.
Batman number 67.
Number 3.
I didn't say anything about the actual book yet.
Who cares?
It's what was that? That was the Nightmares arc. Batman's strapped to a chair and he's having some bad dreams.
Sounds like that time you took me to see Hellboy. Number 3.
This is where things start getting good, numbers-wise. We had 3 books top.
Well, they are the top 3, so you would...
Well, just numbers-wise.
Okay.
Cracking 100,000 copies. Doomsday Clock number 9. You know, that book always sells well whenever it comes out, which is rare.
Well, good things come to those who wait, Zachary.
First it was a month book, then it was every other month.
Now it's a triennial.
Now it's basically, eventually.
The clock is ticking.
Very slowly.
Can I say number 2 now?
You can say number 2.
Number 2.
Grim Knight number 1, also spinning out of the Batman Who Laughs. This is Batman from a universe, but what if he loved guns?
Is this one? So the DC universe.
It's basically what if Batman was the Punisher.
Okay, fair.
Is that Zack Snyder's version of Batman right there?
A little bit.
Is it Michael Bay's version? Are we number 2 or number 1?
We're at number 1.
Number 1.
Detective Comics 1000.
Okay, that makes sense.
This thing killed it. Most months, there's usually 1 or 2 that are right around like 100,000, 110. Detective Comics 1000, 526,000 copies.
That's over 500,000. That's a lot.
And 941. I just feel like doing the whole number.
I want to be the person who's like, I am the one in the 5,500,941.
Hey, I bought some of those for the store.
Maybe you could say that should be the marketing slogan. Editors Note Comics. We were the one in 500,941.
I did push up my numbers on those because when people started really ordering it, I upped it. It went well.
I guess so.
But I think that's it for pop culture news.
You don't have the depressing sales figures from the month of April?
I forgot to write them down.
Okay. Were they better or worse?
I don't remember.
Okay. Are we playing the game now or are we playing it at the
No,
end?
I need to I forgot what I'm going to do for a transition. This one's a gem. From the Inhuman Royal family to the Kansas City Royals.
That's terrible.
It's time for Jared's Sports Reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
You show Josh these. These are terrible.
I got to delete
What
them.
the heck was that?
This
For
is
my transitions from
you're ruining,
comics to sports.
You're ruining his.
I gotcha.
You're ruining Josh's hard work for the Jared Sports Report stinger, and you have these.
Don't read them out loud. I need to use them.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That is not a positive wow, mind you. That is a I work in the radio industry, and this is terrible wow.
I say these are gems.
And this is why you're in the podcast and comic book shop owning industry.
I think he took a good 10 to 12 seconds to write these down and just said, screw it, I'm going with them.
I'm going to use them forever. I just need one a week.
If that's
One a week.
if that's what you've come up with for the game later on in the show, the big surprise game, I'm terrified.
You should be. All right, sports time.
All right, the NFL draft happened over the weekend. It was a solid draft for the Patriots. They picked up a wide receiver in the first round. One of the few times they've actually drafted in the first round. They had the 32nd pick. So they picked on Friday night. Usually they trade out of there. They actually traded up a couple of times. They picked up defensive backs, some defensive linemen, really good defensive linemen from Michigan. So really excited for that. Plus a punter. And they're like, oh, what kind of news is that? It's a right-footed punter. It'd be the first right-footed punter. I think Bill Belichick's one of the only ones he's ever had in New England. He loves left-footed punters.
Weird, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I learned a thing today.
No, because the ball comes off differently, and it's weird. But they also picked up a quarterback, too, that they think that they can kind of mold, and maybe going forward is the heir apparent. I mean, Brady's 41. He's not getting younger, but he's been out working out. He's been working out with Julian Edelman. He's been posting on his Instagram and Twittering. He's going to the Kentucky Derby this weekend. All that excitement. So
Vince Carter is going into his 22nd year in the NBA. That'll be a record.
That's a little different, though, than playing in the NFL for as long as he has. He is Tom Brady is the last player from the 2000 draft that's still playing football.
I just had a fun news story. You brought it back to the Patriots.
I was
22
just saying,
years in the NBA is pretty impressive, considering no one else has gone that long.
Good for Vince.
He's still good.
Is that really the record for the NBA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
That's what I was seeing today. That would be the new record.
Anyway, NBA playoffs. The Celtics had a good opening game against Milwaukee.
Destroyed them.
They're playing them again.
With defense and passing. That's what did it.
Well, that's usually a recipe for success in basketball. If you can play good defense and move the ball, then you got to score it. But still,
the shooting was fine. It wasn't outstanding, but the passing and the defense, that's where it was at.
Well, and
throwing Giannis on his ass.
Wow,
that was good.
Yeah, say his last name.
Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo. You missed the in there.
I'm better than Tommy Heinsohn, I can tell you that much.
You made it sound like Joe Kupo. Antetokounmpo. That's someone who's
freak.
Antetokounmpo is somebody who doesn't want to listen to Joe Kupo's forecasts. Anybody? No? It's a hell of a lot better than those terrible puns you wrote for Jared Sports Reports.
Mine are much better.
The Red Sox still suck, and the Bruins are tied up 1-1 in their Stanley Cup playoff series.
I saw Stephen King put out a tweet. He's like, I really wish the Red Sox were playing this year.
Ooh, that's scary. I worked for Stephen King once.
God, we know. We know.
It's a running gag on the show. Anytime you say his name, I have to mention that I did work for him. He bought me dinner once.
But you never met him.
No, I never met him, but he bought me dinner.
Great.
Yes, it was great. This was the Muddy Rudder and the Texas Roadhouse. He bought me dinner on more than one occasion. He was a fair radio station owner to me.
Thanks, Steve.
Yes. And Tabitha. Don't forget Tabitha.
Does she also own the radio station?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a joint venture. It's a family venture, yeah.
I just thought it was his.
Did you see Pet Cemetery?
No.
Were you going to go see it, or are you going to wait for it? Are you going to Redbox it?
Yeah, I'll wait.
You know that the house that he wrote Pet Cemetery in and about where the road is, Julio owned that.
No one's going to know who Julio is.
I'm just telling you.
Great.
So
interesting.
So by proxy, we're connected to Pet Cemetery in a long roundabout.
Not even close.
Okay, well, it's as close as you saying that you knew somebody who said something about Dark Phoenix.
It's not the same.
It is totally the same. It's in the same realm. Josh?
We also live in Maine.
There we go. That's really all I got for Jared's Sports Reports. Not a whole lot of excitement, I suppose. It's just
what happened. Philadelphia beat Toronto.
Who cares?
I mean, it's going to be important for the finals, for the conference finals.
Well, we'll deal with that next week or 2 weeks from now, because that's how long these damn NBA series take. It's only the beginning of May. They will not play for the championship till the middle of June. There's still another month and a half of basketball to go.
Good.
And then you're going to go into your morose sadness about there being no basketball, and then you'll start fanboying over summer basketball leagues, which are nobody important plays in them. They're god off. Oh, Dustin Pedroia is going to be playing with the Portland Sea Dogs on a rehab assignment. There you go.
Cool.
He'll be there on
Thursday.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it, if that's all you have.
Yeah, that's all I have, because we got a lot to get to.
We do.
We have a game to play. We got to talk about Endgame.
We won't.
Did you come up with the game that we're gonna play? Did you come up with some sort of fancy perverted title involving Endgame, considering the content matter?
No, but you will see.
I don't want to see.
But from there, I mean, you know what we're going to be talking about this week, because the entire world saw it.
Paste Pot Pete
funny.
versus Plant Man in a duel to the death. That brings back memories. It's not a Coors Light, though.
As we do for each and every movie we talk about, we're going to start with non-spoiler reviews, and let's play a theme.
That was your cue. They say, insert my theme.
Now would be a really good time for you to get angry.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
Look, I feel like the non-spoilers on this are going to be pretty quick because everyone has seen this movie already. You want to know what to do? Go see the movie. There we go. Do a little bit more than that for non-spoilers.
I would think so.
Did you enjoy fan service, the movie?
I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of fan service.
More than any movie I've ever seen.
But what I liked about it is it drew 10, 11 years of storytelling to a pretty decent close.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with all the fan service, but boy, they lay it on thick.
Well, all of
They'll lather you down.
All the stories, the angles, the characters, it really did feel like it was a satisfying conclusion to the arc. Like it felt like something finally was done.
Until July when there's Spider-Man.
But you can move on. Now we can kind of start life after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really all those characters that we've watched through these 20 movies, like you said, just given the chance to feel good. Like, they gave us all exactly what we wanted, and whether that's good or not, I bet we'll be talking about that.
I don't think they gave everyone exactly what they wanted with Thor, because I heard some reactions.
Actually, they didn't give me what I wanted either.
Spoilers for the Thanos fan. You got what you wanted once.
I thought that I liked the different shots. I liked the concept initially. I thought that the concept that they were going to go with, I mean, minor spoiler, everyone kind of knows it's a time heist movie.
Really? Because they only say it 27 times.
Yeah, but I was kind of initially apprehensive about that. But the thing about it is it didn't dominate the movie. It wasn't the only thing that the movie was. It was only a small part of it, which was, I mean, it's a major part of the plot, but it didn't really take up a ton. And the stuff that they did in those sequences, I was okay with.
For a 3-hour movie, this thing has no fat on it.
No, it's...
like, there's really nothing you can trim.
I'm kind of curious as to what they did trim, because you know that they had to trim some stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple, like, they leave time for small moments, but even I wouldn't cut any of those. It moves along at a hell of a clip.
Yeah, the opening, it's almost like they dragged out the opening a little bit to give you some of those moments.
Once it starts rolling, it doesn't stop.
I did predict on the show that the Hawkeye scene in the trailer was going to be the opening scene. Of course, I wasn't probably the only one in America.
It's not much of a prediction.
But I said it on this show, damn it.
Well, we know he's sad, but we see him with his family. What's up with that?
I liked that opening. I thought it was a really good opening. It reset the stakes. It retold the story from the Infinity War without retelling the story.
Yeah, that's something I really liked in this movie. Is normally I hate point of view characters. Point of view characters usually suck. They're usually the most boring ones there. But having Ant-Man be your POV character because he missed all this, I already like Ant-Man, and he was just, they told him what he needed to know and moved it right along. I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, the movie's not heavy on exposition. It expects you to know what happened in the previous movie, but I feel like it still could stand on its own a little bit. If you'd never seen a Marvel movie, you'd be... I don't think
no,
you'd be
can't. It absolutely cannot stand on its
No,
own.
I don't think you'd be as lost as you think you would be. I think it would be a really poor choice to start there, but I think you could muscle your way through it.
You can sit someone down in front of the first Avengers, be like, hey, this has a beginning, middle, end. It rolls out all the characters. There's a whole arc in there. Enjoy this. If you're like, here's Endgame, people would just get mad.
No, that's why I said it'd be a poor choice, but
they'd be confused and angry, and they're also mad it's 3 hours.
Or maybe they like long movies that are
nonsense.
That movie's not nonsense.
It's nonsense if you haven't seen anything else.
I still stand by the fact I think if you had never seen a Marvel movie, you could watch it and be moderately entertained.
No way in hell.
You'd be lost, but you'd be entertained.
Moderator.
Do you think there's anybody actually out there that watched Endgame without seeing Infinity War?
Oh, absolutely not. So there you go.
Some girlfriend definitely got dragged along.
All right, that's a valid one.
Someone's sad dad had to bring his kid
or
to
boyfriend
the theater.
or boyfriend. Let's not just say it was. It can go both ways.
Fine, and sad moms too.
But once the quick reset of Thanos at the beginning, I don't think people would be too lost.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
All right, I think that's all I want to say about it in non-spoilers. Because just get to the meat of this sucker. So rating system.
IMAX it, baby. I want to go see this thing in IMAX.
Actually, we're talking about doing that.
Oh, okay. Thanks for inviting me.
We're going to bring her parents. Do you need to come?
I crashed your Christmas and your Thanksgiving and part of your Easter.
It's fair. We do have to spend every major holiday together. This isn't a holiday.
Well, I'll go IMAX it by myself, a-hole.
Yeah, definitely see this one in theaters.
All right. Oh, I give my same review as last time. See it twice.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to go see it in IMAX. It'll be the second. I almost went again on Saturday. Almost.
I know. I'm itching to see it again.
There's a lot of things I want to go back and kind of see if I can pick up on some other things.
But from there, we're going to move on to spoilers.
Look out. There's spoilers ahead.
Whatever it is.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
All right.
Time code that.
So my very first takeaway when the movie ended, great ending, beautiful, touching, heart-wrenching, rolls credits. Captain America kills babies.
Okay.
Because that's what he did.
So here's an interesting theory that I had read. We never really know who Peggy's husband really is or those kids. It could be Captain America because there are 2 Captain Americas.
Yeah.
So it's very possible.
No, I saw that and I can quickly debunk that.
Okay.
One, if he knew that information, he made out with his niece. And also...
Would see, this is where you
and also
get
with
time travel.
With Peggy Carter having Alzheimer's and she comes out of it, she doesn't like, hey, here's my husband. No, she is shocked. That's not how Alzheimer's work. It's you lose short-term memory. Long-term memory is still there. So if he was back around in the 30s, she wouldn't have that. She is shocked, like, oh my god, I can't believe you're alive again. It doesn't line up. No, it doesn't.
No. Think about how old Peggy Carter is in that scene and how young Steve looks. There's your shock point.
No, it doesn't work.
Josh?
Oh, it totally works. I've had family members that dealt with this, and they literally can go back to like random times. And it's like my grandfather was playing football. It was really weird. So that is actually my brother and I discussed that, and the exact same excuse, I guess, is what I'll say that I used is that
he never died.
But
not for her. He's not going to put her through that. If he has the ability to time travel, he's not going to have her deal with his death just to come back a week later.
I totally agree with that. But exactly, that's a piece that they didn't figure out.
But that's where you kind of you have time travel movies, you kind of run into some of those paradoxes.
Peggy Carter had a husband, so he took someone's wife, and then there were 2 children, and he made sure those children were never born. Captain America kills babies, infanticide.
Is that the same universe, or did we split into a different convergence when they went back in time?
Still kills babies.
No, because the Ancient One explained the timeline and then why the Infinity Stones had to go back to where they were, because it would reset those pieces of the timeline.
What the hell does this note even mean? Mask.
I don't know. What does that mean? They're your notes. Because if they didn't return the Infinity Stones to those exact moments, it wouldn't work. That's also why, like, you think, wait, Captain America left with Mjolnir. He had to leave with it to take it back to Asgard.
He did.
Yeah, that way, he's like, well, if Thor took it with him, how is he going to...
Yeah, he brought it back, which also means when he's bringing all these things back, I'm glad we didn't see that movie, but he did have to go see the Red Skull for a minute.
He did, and then that does...
He'd be like, oh, still alive, huh?
Yeah, that's...
Remember when you were a Nazi? Now you're floating in space. Sucks to be you. Captain America out.
Yeah, that'd be a fun, 30-minute TV show to watch.
Captain America sees the Red Skull floating in space, and he also looks down, and Natasha's brains are still splattered against a rock. Because this was a bloodier movie than we usually see out of Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
You want to see what her brains look like? Oh, you know now.
But is she in the Soul... Maybe the Black Widow movie is her coming out of the Soul Gem.
Yeah, that's the downside of, every character that's dead, they all have a TV show or movie announced.
Yeah.
The Vision, oh man, he's done. Well, WandaVision, terrible name, is going to be filming this fall. Loki's dead, or is he? Because he escaped, so he's still probably alive. But he has a show coming out. Black Widow, oh no, she's so dead. Solo movie coming out soon.
That's where some of the time travel stuff kind of fell apart for me a little bit, but I was able to suspend my disbelief. It set its rules out pretty simply.
Yeah, I like it well enough.
But it also totally shits on Back to the Future.
I just thought the killing babies thing was funny.
And then falls into some of the exact same tropes.
But. Yes, it does. They're trying to sneak around and not be seen by their past selves. But back to the top. I like how the cold open of the movie. I like the way that they did the Marvel credit with Mr. Fantasy playing.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's a very good song. This movie wastes no time. That post-credit scene, we're like, I wonder where this falls in the movie. That it happened already.
Yeah. What I do think is really funny going into this is we have so much, we speculated, and so many other people did how's this going to happen? How's Scott getting out of the quantum realm? Rat did it. How's Tony getting saved out of space? Captain Marvel, first 5 minutes. Why is Hawkeye Ronin? Oh man, that's going to be such a big plot point. Doesn't really matter.
The Russo brothers had a good interview, and I read an article today. They said, who really... Is it Tony that really sees the universe? No, it was the rat. Because if the rat doesn't hit the button on the quantum machine, Scott never comes out. They never discover time travel.
I just love all this speculation is worthless. Nah, doesn't matter.
And of all
there's a lot of hand waving in this movie.
14 million possibilities that Doctor Strange sees, it's the one with the damn rat.
Why not?
I like it. I don't hate it.
I think this is my only real negative one. I'm concerned about Captain Marvel's power level. They've created the Superman problem when they didn't need to.
She gets her ass beat near the end by Thanos.
Not really. I mean...
He knocks her the F out, dude.
He punches her. When he's fully powered up, she doesn't flinch. He has to take out the Power Stone. Something we were told is so powerful that if it touches the surface of a planet, all life will die. And that's the only thing that pushes her back 20 feet. She is crazy overpowered.
then so is Scarlet Witch, because if it wasn't,
she doesn't.
Scarlet Witch was killing him. She was tearing him apart.
But if she takes a punch, she's still going to go down. She has strength, but she still does have just the weakness of a lady. Just a regular
I'm fine
lady.
with how powerful Captain Marvel is.
I thought that because why do we have the other characters now? What matters?
But you know what? It wasn't Captain Marvel that everyone thought she was going to be the one that beats Thanos.
I mean, she almost did,
but she didn't.
But he's all the way powered up. We're
skipping around. Let's get back up. Let's get back to the beginning of the movie.
This isn't a summary.
No, but I want to talk more about some of the other things in the movie. You skipped around.
Thor dabs, not Thor. Hulk dabs.
Hulk
hated
dabs.
That.
Yeah, it is. I like that
it's
we got
5 years
Professor
in the future.
I like Professor Hulk though, and it was like Mark Ruffalo was really allowed to be himself in this. It was great. I liked it.
It was good CG.
What'd you think about Thor and Dad Bod Thor? I finally have the body of Thor now.
I love Fat Thor.
The dude Thor was clearly what that was.
Oh.
Which is weird. Okay, so Tony even calls him Lebowski. Who stars in The Big Lebowski?
Jeff Bridges.
And who is the villain in Iron Man 1?
Jeff Bridges.
I mean, the same thing comes up when like Captain America's writing down movies to watch. He's like, Star Wars. Weird how Nick Fury looks the same as that Star Wars guy.
Yes. But Star Wars is also a cultural movement. Not just because Samuel L. Jackson's in that
who
movie.
stars in The Big Lebowski in this universe? Another schlubby comedian, I guess.
Yes.
Drew Carey. There we go.
You know what? Yes. Before he got skinny again. You know what I like though? They sold out to Thor being a fat, drunken kind of buffoon.
They never went back on it.
No, like I thought for a split second when they get ready to fight Thanos and he's like, okay, and he like brings down the lightning on Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. I thought he was gonna like transform back into like buff Thor. But
no, just took the time to braid his beard.
No, and man bun him.
Lightning does
and
that.
And man bun him.
Aaron Baines of himself.
He really was. The first 30 minutes, they kill Thanos. He beheads him. He takes Stormbreaker.
He went for the head.
And he cuts his arm off, and then he cuts his head off.
I do love that.
That wasn't meant to be a joke line. People laughed. Like, Thor is like sad.
What I love about that scene, because I mean these are mostly bloodless movies, when they cut his head off, there is a little spurt.
Oh yeah, and it's all over Stormbreaker as he's walking away.
A little purple spurt.
Yeah, it was interesting. I actually kind of like that about that. Just change it up, and then we get the new Thanos later. But just lopping off his head, it was. I was completely surprised by that.
I thought they were gonna. I assumed there were gonna be 2 fights, but I didn't see it going down that way.
That was quick.
I thought they were gonna have one early on, and I thought they were gonna like. My theory was they were going to fight him early on, maybe get like the Space Stone and the Time Stone, and then run around with those, getting the rest of them. But no, I was off.
Well, no, we talked about.
I admit my faults.
We also talked about them using the quantum realm to get around too.
Yeah, and they do because Tony solves time travel in 5 seconds.
That was great. That was a great scene. He's like, shit. He turned and there's his daughter. I like that they gave Tony stakes in this movie again. Like he's married, he's happy, he's done everything that he, said he wanted to do during Age of Ultron, maybe I'll, at the end of Age of Ultron, it's like, maybe I'll get a cabin and, have a wife and, do right by Pepper. And he does that.
They brought back, I was surprised that they called back to that movie a couple times. He's like, well, I said I wanted to have a suit of armor around the world. We should have done it.
And then
I was right, you piece of shit.
And then when he's like, yeah, I said, what are we going to do if we lose? We'll lose together. It was like callback word for word on that.
Which is a little unrealistic. I can't remember what we said last week, let alone what we said to each other 4 years ago.
Remember, he's a billionaire, genius, philanthropist, playboy, so.
So what'd you guys think about the destruction of the Infinity Gems? Because that was one of the things I always had pictured them as the time gem is associated with time in our world. So the destruction of all the gems had literally no bearing on the world around it other than a quick power flux.
Well, which kind of felt like a paradox to me because the Ancient One said that they had to exist.
Right.
Because they created the normal flow of time. So I think that's, as Zach and I were talking as we were leaving the movie, Zach's like, this is very much a hand wave and be like, oh, don't worry about that. Don't look at that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean people pick, I've only seen the movie, once, so I'm sure there's a lot you can pick apart.
But I'm
also sure there's probably some explanations that I missed.
What I feel like it does do, though, is much like the normal run of like a comic book series. This is the end of a comic book arc. This is the end of...
This is your annual.
Yeah, exactly. So now that that's done, you can reset and you can write new rules. And I think we have to kind of live somewhat with knowing that the next set of movies are going to might not necessarily be in this timeline or around this universe.
Well, they have a time machine now. That's a world breaker.
Yes. It's a time machine that plays the cucaracha. We have another time machine.
Speaking of, he wasn't in the movie at all.
No,
That was
Michael
unfortunate.
Pena.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
I just want to hear him recap the Avengers movie.
Yes.
A bit of de-aging in this movie. Most of it looks really good. Michael Douglas looks perfect.
Oh, yeah. He was really good as young Hank Pym.
And they show the original Ant-Man helmet, which is perfect. I love seeing that in his lab. On the other hand, young John Slattery looked really weird. He had like a pound of makeup on his face, and it's like they used some kind of smudge technique to smooth his skin out. Every shot Slattery was in, I was just like staring at his cheeks. I'm like, those aren't right.
You were smitten.
By Slattery?
Yes.
Slattery in a brown wig. But then, the biggest Easter egg of the movie, the one that shocked me the most, bringing in a TV character to this world.
Oh, Jarvis?
They brought in Jarvis from Agent Carter.
Yeah.
That's the first crossover, really. There's a throwaway line in Age of Ultron that connects it to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but this is like the first full-blown crossover. Never, of all the things of this movie, that's honestly what shocked me the most. I was like, holy hell, Jarvis!
Yeah,
we're acknowledging TV.
It's fun. I didn't realize until you just said that, and I loved the Agent Carter show. Until you just said that, I was like, shit, that's who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot happens that you have to kind of like, I think a second and a third watching, you'd pick up on some of that stuff. Although someone tried to watch it like back to back to back to back to back to prove like the theory of diminishing returns, and they were sick of it. That's
of course,
yeah, you're going to if you do it like that. But if you watch it every day for like a week, that might be different than watching it back to back to back to back to back.
That sounds terrible.
It doesn't sound like something you're ruining a good thing. What about
Just
Tony
hurt your
getting
butt.
some closure with his father?
There's a lot of that. There's a mom scene. There's a dad scene. There's another
Yeah.
Scott and his kid scene. There's a lot of stuff with family in this, and I like it. I like that Thor's wasn't a broken relationship, but I like that even you got closure on the sudden mom death.
She had more lines. Renee Russo had more lines in this than she did in the previous two Thor movies combined.
Is that an actual thing?
That is an actual thing.
I liked her a lot.
I thought that was
from the future. Just breaks out. I'm totally from the future.
I was raised by witches, but I liked what they did with her, and I like what they did with the ancient one.
This is what I always wear.
Yes.
The only one that I didn't like was actually Tony and his dad. That just the conversation kind of felt awkward or forced. I don't know.
I think you're just looking at the weird de-aging on John Slattery was distracting.
Maybe
maybe a little bit of that, like, you know, how Howard Stark doesn't even question this guy who's down in the lab and walking out with a briefcase. And
exactly. Oh, we're in this
that was the
secret place. And
that was the Marty McFly moment, too.
It's just like Darth Vader's coming to melt my brain, whatever the line is.
Yes, he's playing Van Halen. Darth Vader came down from the planet Vulcan and told me he'd melt my brains if I told anybody. So you're telling me? No,
I like that. I like the idea of closure because we've never really seen... snippets of interaction, but I like actually getting like a full scene with the two of them.
You know what?
They didn't do a lot of makeup on Robert Downey Jr. I think he just walked up and were like, "Yeah, Haggard, great, go. We don't really need to send you the makeup trailer."
You know, I felt like I wish they could have gotten to that though in a different way than having to like go by way of Loki disappearing with the Space Stone.
Yeah, well now Loki's alive again.
That's, sure, you bring him back to life. I like the different like perspective on some of the things that happen, like when Tony's in Stark Tower behind everything that's going on, you kind of see like what happened afterwards. I enjoyed
America's
that.
ass.
That's America's. That was a great set of lines. He like looks back. That is America's ass.
Actually, I tell you what, Ant-Man was probably my favorite one of this entire movie. It's fine, you don't need to share that opinion. Just for me, I think he's the one I enjoyed the most.
This one I thought was funny because Captain America swears a lot in this movie after like language.
There was none of that either. I was waiting for that.
Oh yeah.
And there's definitely been a rule change because you didn't used to be able to get away with saying shit that much. You were maxed out at 3, and they were probably closer to 9 or 10.
I love that line when he's
I wonder
like
if there's
walking.
something about just time, like because it's a longer movie, you can do it more. I don't know.
When he walks out of the elevator and he comes, "Oh, you got to be shitting me." But again, more fan service. Okay, in the elevator, Hail Hydra. I saw that coming when he was in there. That was great.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of hints to the future.
Bucky's alive, and then he knocks himself out. I could do this all day. Yeah, I know.
That elevator scene is probably my favorite scene of all the Marvel movies, and the callback to that was just perfect because all I could think of was Hydra.
The shot for shot, yeah.
And I was waiting for the throwdown.
I love that they switched it up.
Well.
And then Redford's back.
Yeah.
Wow, they got a lot of cameos.
Dude, all the original people in that elevator, too.
Yeah.
So all the extras, everybody was pretty much the same.
I gotta say it's easier to get an extra than Robert Redford, who says he's retired.
Yeah. By and large, though, there wasn't a lot of fighting until the last 40 minutes.
No.
Wouldn't that make sense? The last 40 minutes makes up for the lack of fighting.
Oh, by the way, that wasn't Natalie Portman. That was just leftover footage.
Yes. But she was at the premiere.
She was. She recorded the line that you can hear her say in the hallway. She did record that,
Yeah.
but she didn't come out to play.
No. I like the scene where like Hulk he smashes it, and then it's like you can smash it. I think it's gratuitous anyway. And he like half-heartedly smashes a car. You're like, oh, throws a park bench.
I think that's a lot of the in-between stuff. Might as well talk about the end of the movie.
How about
the third act?
The fight was great. Like it played out like it felt to me like a series of splash pages. You got those big splash page moments when
I'm well on record saying I love lines of people running at each other. This is the liniest line that ever lined.
But think about just all the portals that open up from the sling rings and that. But also before that, just like Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, like the original three, going and fighting him.
So like Wong speaking for like everyone who's worked on this movie, where Doctor Strange's like, is that it? He's like, is this not enough for you?
Yeah.
Like, hear you loud and clear, guys. Got it.
Wong speaks for the people.
Wong speaks for the directors.
Just like in the last movie when he was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Well, when I was rewatching, because I rewatched all the movies, when I saw that, he didn't need to do that. They just walked like 20 feet out the door and he decided he needed to use a portal. Dude, 20 feet. This is lazy.
Oh, yeah. Like you wouldn't. Come on, man. You got portals 20 feet upstairs to grab something out of the fridge? You would be...
Also,
Wong did not get his steps in that day.
If you can move portals like that across, why couldn't you just portal around Thanos' hand in the first place and cut it off?
No, because that wasn't the one. There were 14 million. That wasn't the one.
No, but in the very beginning before
that wasn't the one.
Okay.
There was only one. It doesn't change. It's still just the one.
There's still the one?
No, they wrote that in as again, hand waving. It wouldn't work because it wasn't the one time.
Okay. Yeah. So you can, nope, it had to be the rat.
Surprising amount of play for Nebula.
Well, I mean, she plays a key role in Infinity War anyway, or Infinity Gauntlet, whatever the Infinity comic was.
Still, I mean, she got a lot of screen time. I was surprised.
I like her character a lot.
Yeah.
And it was played well. I liked how they used her as the ex machina for Thanos to realize what was going on. That was pretty clever, I thought.
Yeah. Look out, she's on the same Wi-Fi network.
Yeah, oops.
Yeah, they shared the same memory or something.
The device is synced automatically.
It happens sometimes.
That's
what you get for clicking on public networking instead of private.
But she was handled well, and I think that her character has grown a lot better since the first Guardians.
I'm interested to see Guardians 3 and what they do with it as Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's one of the many, many comic nods. That's a current book that's out right now. It's a relatively new title, but yeah, there's so many comic references. I don't feel like you can find a list on the internet.
All right, well, let's talk some about like the big scenes. Okay, so you finally get your Avengers assemble, which we got teased at the end of Age of Ultron.
So that was one of my predictions, was Cap would say Avengers Assemble. The other one was Nebula would be the sacrificial hero. So I was 1 for 2.
Oh, she did shoot herself. She did kill herself. She like 1.5 for 2.
Yeah, Avengers Assemble, like, I was surprised when it didn't happen in the first movie. That was my prediction for the first Avengers. Even before I was doing a podcast, I was literally writing this stuff down on a list, showing girlfriends, and being like, let's see if this happens beat for beat like this. I have proof that these were my theories.
And he was wrong.
I was wrong about that one.
We're the ones that are single, Jared. What the heck is going on?
Yeah. Listen, ladies, we know what's going to happen. We can predict the damn future. And that future is me going home to my cat tonight.
I'm sorry, we didn't get a Jared's Love report, so maybe I'm out.
There you go. There's nothing to report, and that's there you go.
I think I've helped him in the right direction. I said stop using towels as curtains.
I do. I have regular curtains now.
Solid.
Want to see my terry cloth? Lots of privacy.
Can't say that.
There's a lot of stuff that they hint at. I love Captain America getting Mjolnir. Like, who didn't love that, though?
That was awesome.
That uppercut is the most cathartic moment of that movie. Like, just hit him in the head! Hard.
I loved it when Thor's like, I knew you were worthy all along.
It's like, oh, you take the little one.
Yeah. That was a great callback to when he like tried to lift it on the table and he's like, I knew you were worthy.
It had a little budge on the table.
Yeah.
A little squeak they made.
But also like going back, because I feel like we've glossed over a lot of these things, like Thor finding his redemption and he's still worthy because he can channel Mjolnir after he's become a fat drunk and he feels like he's failed.
I think it's hilarious
everything.
Every time you say that word, by the way.
Mew mew.
Meow meow. You always struggle a little bit. You kind of pause Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Whatever. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Wode's Day. Odin's Day.
Great.
That's a true story.
It is.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah. Tuesday is...
I don't know that one.
It's like the god, like the Norse god of war.
Okay.
Tyr.
Great.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are all Norse days. Friday, Frigga's Day.
The big one, and I'm glad they did the line 3 times. And once they said it a second time, I should have known it was coming back around, because that's what you do in a movie. You have to remind.
Yes.
With Thanos going, I am inevitable.
Oh, the Iron Man at the end was great.
The second he started with the I am inevitable, like the third time, because he says it once in the middle too, he goes, I'm like, oh. It's not like I got it, like, I didn't get it really advanced, but it's like, I was 5 seconds ahead of the ball.
Like you saw when he said I am inevitable, he snapped and didn't get it, and then with the Tony, I'm like, I am Iron Man.
I got it more around the I.
Oh.
I didn't have to wait that long. Man.
So, for some reason, Thanos is like super powered in these movies.
Yeah, so
that's an interesting choice.
Your argument about Captain Marvel being super powered, she's not that much more powerful than Thanos when you really look at what he's done and the beating he takes, and he's able to just like. By the way, what's his sword made out of? Because he chopped through Cap's shield, which is comic accurate, but he like destroyed that vibranium.
He just backhands it in the books.
Yeah. With the Infinity Gauntlet, though.
Correct. Yeah, everything he does typically in the books is outsmarting people or beating them in a way that isn't just pure physical force, unless it's through the Infinity Gauntlet or the Power Stone specifically. It's really weird to see him without the Gauntlet, like in the first Infinity War when he takes on the Hulk and beats the Hulk.
That's the one I was going to go with. Like, he beat the Hulk in that movie in 2 seconds without all the Infinity Stones, and when he's fully powered up, he can't even throw one punch at Captain Marvel.
In the history of movie punches, that may have been the biggest one since Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed.
It was creative.
Yeah, I liked
just pulling it out. Bam! Pop her in the mouth. I didn't like her wig. Throwing that out there.
It was comic accurate, though.
I feel you could have done a better wig.
Do you feel that
personally?
I'm fine with the short hair. I just didn't like that specific wig.
I did like the comments over. I liked Rocket in this. I thought Bradley Cooper was really able to.
I thought they upped the CG on him. Like that's gotten way better.
He looked good, but I liked the lines that he had and how Bradley Cooper played it. You look like melted ice cream. You're gonna get another haircut.
I love Korg. Korg and Meek make their return.
Oh, by the way, the Fortnite product placement was kind of because there are a bunch of Fortnite Guardians Marvel skins now, I guess.
I have no idea what Fortnite is other than knowing it's a thing and that kids are into it.
Yes.
Beyond that, I was like, I thought it was a phone game. I didn't know it was a console game.
Oh, no, it's a console game. It's a computer. It's everywhere. It's very pervasive.
I think we've talked about this before. Fortnite is no idea.
One of my kids at school said, wouldn't it be funny if the person that Thor was yelling at for Korg that was making fun of him was actually Loki playing Fortnite somewhere else, trying to harass Thor? Listen, noob.
I am curious.
Thank you, Thor.
When they mention the underwater earthquake, I'm like, are we doing Namor? Are we hinting at that?
Could be.
They've hinted him in the second Iron Man movie. They throw out an Easter egg for Namor, but I'm curious if.
Plus, I feel like we're going to start getting into more of like the Marvel like galactic universe because we still.
I mean, we already know that.
Yeah, well, Adam Warlock is still buzzing in some cocoon somewhere.
Man, when the deaths happen. There's no music. You can just hear the whole theater.
Oh yeah,
just roll in tears.
What about Stan Lee's cameo? We didn't talk about that
from the 70s or whatever
with his 420 vanity plate.
Yeah,
it wasn't a vanity plate. It's not because the 2 sections of a license plate. The first one was 420, and then there's also Nuff Said as a bumper sticker.
I did see that.
Yeah,
but yeah, he looks exactly like 70s Stan Lee.
Good for I thought it was a nice last Stan cameo.
I was honestly expecting them to have because they had pre-recorded like James Gunn shot like 6 cameos in a row for Stan when his health was a little bit better because I knew he was going. I was expecting them to do like the post credits would just be like Stan being like, "Hey, thanks for coming out for all these years, true believers. Like, I'll see you when I see you," or something. I thought that was gonna be they were gonna have the foresight to shoot something like that ahead of time.
Kind of glad they didn't though. Like,
I'm all about pulling on the heartstrings. Take my emotions and rip them out of me.
But you know what I liked is he was kind of like a recurring character.
Because otherwise I am just stone.
Because he was a watcher.
I need a movie to take 3 hours to make me cry.
He was a watcher.
Yeah, that was one of the cameos.
Yeah. What about, let's talk about the big death. Obviously, we talked about Black Widow's dead, but Tony dies.
So flippant. Yeah, she's dead. But she has a solo movie, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of bummed about. I want these deaths to stick, because this movie makes them...
Is anyone ever really dead forever in comics?
But this isn't. We don't have those rules in this world yet.
Yet.
Yeah. We haven't had a full-blown, like, resurrection. We've had a bunch of fake-outs.
Mm.
I mean, there's even ways to bring Tony... Like, Tony's died a couple of times, and sometimes he comes back as a hologram.
Yeah.
This one time, not very long ago, Black Widow got her neck snapped, and then she just kind of showed up again. A lot of hand-waving there, too.
Yeah, well.
Damn you, Civil War 2.
But I mean, this was an Iron Man movie, really. Ultimately,
It was a Captain
I was
America
gonna say
movie.
Iron and Cap is what
it was both. It was like Civil War, we're friends again.
But let's yell at each other a bit.
Yeah. So what? Oh, one thing we've really glossed over: all the Marvel superheroines had their moment.
Yeah, that's a team that's referred to as A-Force, which is an entirely female-led Avengers team.
Not to be confused with Alpha Flight.
I thought you were going to say the A-Team. I'm like, no,
No,
that's a
no.
different thing, too. Mr. T was not on this team.
I pity.
I feel like I've brought this up before, but if you've never looked up Mr. T's rapping about mothers, look it up. It's amazing.
You have brought this up before.
It's mothers.
Mother's
Be
Day.
good to your mothers.
And I guarantee in 2 weeks when it's the Mother's Day show, you're going to talk about that.
Probably through.
And you'll be like, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but Mr. T rapped about his mom once.
It's amazing.
Just once a year, every year, at least.
Mothers.
And you do the same thing, the same crappy Mr. T. Mothers. Be good to your mothers.
Better than me doing his like 1-800-COLLECT commercials.
That's okay. I'll give you that. Mr. T in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Did he ever wrestle?
Yeah, he did a little bit. Plus, yeah.
Setups for the future. We have a bunch of them. I like that it's looking like that we might be done with Thor movies, but we're not done with Thor. If Hemsworth is just like, look, I want to have some days off.
But I want to have fun with the character too. And
Yeah.
I've kind of kept going from the fun that we're having with Thor Ragnarok.
And if he's going to be in Guardians, great. I'd love that addition. I want that. Second to last thing in the movie I was a little bummed about with Steve giving Sam the shield. Because they've been building up Bucky for all of these movies. He's gotten the shield in every single Captain America movie. There's always a shot of him with it. And for me, honestly, like my favorite run of Captain America goes from Cap dying to handing the shield off to Bucky. It's my all-time favorite Captain America run, so I'm a little disappointed we're not going to see that. Plus, great Captain America suit in that run. But Sam has also had the shield before, so that's fine. I just would have preferred to have gone the other way.
Do you think we'll ever see a solo Sam Wilson Captain America?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jeez, I keep thinking that they're just going to make him the head of the new Avengers. And
We'll definitely get, I think, 100%. Probably not his first outing, but I think if he goes 2 movies in, we'll get Evil Steve.
Ooh, Hydra Cap? That would be fantastic.
Yeah, because the way if you only reacted on Twitter to one image, you dumbasses.
Wow.
Overreacting on Twitter? You jest.
Because they saw one image. Oh, I had people yell at me about it in person, like, I'm never reading this. I'm like, were you reading it anyways? Like, no. I'm like,
I don't like what I'm reading.
Shut up. But the way that story worked is Captain America had his super soldier serum sucked out of him, and he became an old man. And then later on down the road, he gets re-upped as Captain America, and his youth is restored to him. But in that process, his brain is rewritten to think that he was always a secret Hydra agent. We also do get with the Hail Hydra scene, but also we see old man Steve handing it off to Sam. I'm like, I've seen this before. He turns evil. So I've thrown it down in 2 Captain America movies, or maybe they'll do it as an Avengers movie. We'll get Evil Steve. I think that's how you get Chris Evans back.
That'd be fun.
Add a couple zeros to the end, and I bet you can get Chris Evans back as well.
Yeah, he seems to have come around a bit on enjoying these movies more.
Yeah.
Early on, he was just like, I'm here for 6 and then I'm out. If they have me do a cameo, that counts.
And he seems to be taking on the persona of the ideals of Captain America a little bit, so.
On Twitter.
I'm for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
those are probably the biggest hints that I can think of.
Where do you go from here, though? Like,
you just keep going.
I still think at some point we're going to get some good Fantastic Four. I'd love to see like a Fantastic Four arc.
We will. I would be surprised if we got something this drawn out again.
Yeah, I don't know if...
I think this was a series of happy accidents that led them to this. I mean, years ago they said, like, we have movies planned to 2024, and at the time, like, that seems crazy, but, less so now. I don't think we're going to get another 10 years before we have the big finale. Not when they're literally printing billions of dollars. We're not waiting 10 years for the next big one.
No, but I think you do have to build up to it a little bit. I don't think it's going to be like... Because I think they see what DC did, and they rushed it. They rushed right into the big ensemble movie, and now they've not really recovered with that universe.
I don't see why they just can't keep going the way they're going. Instead of having solo movies, you mix in some other characters in there to make it more interesting, and you do your crossovers. The big one, I don't think they really need to change the game plan that much. They'll just up it faster, like maybe a Galactus or a Doctor Doom. I feel like I could throw some X-Men ones out there, but I feel like the X-Men are still a little too fresh to try to be like, let's do Apocalypse again.
Yeah, or Days of Futures Past.
Yeah, it's that stuff's still a little fresh. So I think you can lean on the Fantastic Four a little bit more in that regard. Yeah. Or maybe they play nice with the Universal and they get Namor in there and he's like, the sea attacks the land. Brah!
It is attacking the land.
Yeah, the only big bad that I can think of that they might be able to use because they're messing around with time so much is Kang starts coming in.
Kang would be a fun one.
I think that would be because he could span the different places, the different times.
Yeah, Kang could be like, you messed with the timeline, so now I am free to be an evil Reed Richards from the future.
Well, Tony did have the line, when you mess with time, time will mess back.
Yeah, so Kang would be an option. Annihilus is an option.
Oh, yes. The Negative Zone, the Fantastic Four. Maybe they've been stuck there the whole time, whatever they bring back with them.
Do the Annihilation Wave.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what these things are.
Kang the Conqueror is an evil version of probably Reed Richards from the future, or maybe it's Doctor Doom, or maybe it's Rama Tut, but also maybe Rama Tut is Doctor Doom. You don't know. It's confusing.
What?
Yeah. My honest answer is I don't think anyone
drool
knows.
emoji. Drool emoji.
Okay, so I'm glad that you said the name Doctor Doom because I wanted to bring this up. Doctor Doom plays a huge role in the Infinity Gauntlet stories. Oh man, one thing that really disappointed me is that there's only superheroes that really confront Thanos, even though he wiped out half of everybody. I was really hoping two things. One, some evil forces join up with the bad guys to possibly make the Force a little bit different. And two, obviously I wanted a lot more cosmic beings. Or just even callbacks or throwouts to some of the cosmic beings. Now with that Jim Starlin interview I watched, I did see that Marvel's a little bit skeptical about bringing them in because of obviously the abstract nature of some of these beings. So that's understandable, but...
Eternity or...
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's literally none of that. There's not even any mentions.
But as he said in the interview too, like I think they're going to start trending in that way. You see some of it with the Guardians movies, and you kind of get out there.
If you're doing the Eternals, I mean that's
the Eternals was there.
Guardians, that, and I figured Doctor Strange could be an avenue into some of those.
No, I wasn't surprised. I get what you're saying with the villains, but I'm not surprised because I can also see that happening in the future. But for me, this is the victory lap.
Oh yeah,
I mean, so much so they literally ran back to their old movies. So, like, remember this? Wasn't that shot of the 6 Avengers cool in 2012? Well, we're doing it again.
I think
that's why. Shot.
That's why personally, I'm looking forward to watching it again. More of like a Cap fan going forward with it that way, so that it's not like, hey, I'm looking for Thanos and random cosmic beings like Chaos and Order and like you said, Eternity, the Living Tribunal, all the weird ones. None of that, but instead just looking forward to America's ass.
Aren't we all?
I was a little disappointed that there was no Lady Death in this. Or even like maybe have Hela do it, so because I mean it's even weird in the Marvel universe how they're like different kinds of hell.
And they did kind of like hinted that a little bit, like at the end of the first Avengers, is like to mess with them is to court death.
Yeah, that was a setup line, but not a paid off one.
Nope.
The line also works without it being Lady Death, but
it's a double entendre.
Yeah,
audible sigh.
I don't think it's not an entendre.
Well, speaking of entendre, I think it's time to play our game.
I guess. There's still many things to say about this. Easter eggs, but yeah, overall.
I thought this is
a great movie.
It's a great way to cap it off.
I still love the first Avengers movie the most, but that's also probably just because it's complete for me. And this one there's so much. This is also a more emotional movie for me. Like, this is the one I'm getting welled up at. Like, I mean, right after the death is bad, but then like Tony's proof that Tony Stark has a heart. Like, you bastards.
That was well done.
You perfect bastards.
They really do a great job of tying up. There are no loose ends at the end of this movie. Nobody had to get up and pee, at least from our role.
No.
So that was a legitimate concern. I tried to go pee so many times for that movie.
I know. Like, we went to the restaurant, and then when we got to the theater, I'm like, well, it's been 5 minutes. I should go again.
Yeah, at the restaurant twice. When we got to the theater, and then right before the preview. So like twice in a span of 20 minutes.
I will refrain from telling you how many times I had to pee before the movie. You're welcome.
I know, what a weird detail we're adding here.
You haven't developed that kind of rapport with our listeners yet.
I guess that will do it. So, from there, we're moving on to trying a new thing.
This is a one-time thing.
No, I have a few of these, but this one specifically.
And you chose Josh to be part of this.
For this one.
Okay.
We're not going to do this every week. We're still going to do letters and whatnot. And please, if you do want to write a letter into us, editorsnotecomics@gmail.com or on Twitter or Facebook are the easiest ways.
Hopefully this prompts people to write letters like, never do that again.
But we're going to be playing a game. I have a few of these planned out. They're mostly going to be, it's not exclusively this, but a lot of it's going to be, is it real or fake in terms of pop culture and comic books, which means I have to also make up all the fake ones.
That's some of the best. That's more fun. Like, I write a current events quiz for my kids every week at school, and we do 2 weird news stories. And my favorite thing about writing them is coming up with the fake options for the weird news stories. Like the guy who robbed a Pizza Hut using a machete, one of the options they gave was man came in and rolled around in the salad bar. And people chose that, like, sounds like something they would do. Or he set fire to pizza boxes to set off the sprinklers to run away with his free pizza.
Do we have a theme for this one?
Make one up on the spot.
Hang on.
Here it is. Zach asks.
Wait, no. Give me a beat.
We are not wrapping this.
Normally, this is a family-friendly show, and I do know parents listen to the show with kids that are around. For this game and this game only, I don't think we'll ever do something like this again. I implore you.
For many reasons.
I implore you, if you have children around, please turn the show off, because we are, I think for the first time ever, going to have an explicit
There was that one After Dark show that we put out on Patreon.
Yeah, that. So, the game we are going to be playing this week.
Oh, God.
In the world of pop culture, often you will find a porn parody of said thing. So
How is porn pop culture, by the way?
Because they're doing parodies of pop culture.
Oh, they're doing something, all right.
So this week we're going to be playing real or fake superhero porn parody.
Oh my God.
And
I mean, I can believe it's a thing because of the world we live in, but I can't believe that this is a thing on the show.
The two of you will be competing for potential fabulous prizes.
I know what the fabulous prize
Possible fabulous prizes.
Yeah, he means no prize. Or come back for a box of mac and cheese next week.
If it was the actual Marvel no prize, then you could count me in, but I'm guessing it's not.
Nah,
maybe it's a DVD copy of some of these films.
there is no prize.
Some bootleg VHS tape.
And we have no prior knowledge of
none
any of
whatsoever.
This
I will give two
ridiculousness.
So just for examples, real ones that we have, these are both real. Ones like Fap to the Future or Strokemon. These are examples of real ones. So I will ask you if these are real or fake.
So how's the scoring go for this game? How do you determine a winner? Air quotes.
Just a 1-1.
So if you guess the fake one, you get a point, or the real one.
If you guess correctly.
So he's gonna say
a title, and you just have to say if it's real or fake.
Okay.
And the two of you will be
okay. I thought it was gonna be like choices.
No.
Okay, real or fake.
The two of you will be playing against each other.
Is it the first to answer, or do we both give our answer?
You both have a chance. The audience can play along.
We all lose.
In case you're scoring at home.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's start off with an easy one. Real or fake? 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's got to be real.
That's fake.
The answer is real.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. Yeah. I should have brought like a little bell over.
Glad you didn't.
I don't know why I'm excited for knowing that was a real thing. It just sounded real.
Here's one. Also, name of a real movie. Is this a real or fake pan porty? Porty?
Porty, yes.
Man of Steel.
I feel like that would be
in the all time of porn.
I feel like yeah.
Well,
how much research did you do
of a specific superhero porn parody? Is there a movie called Man of Steel?
How many pages of Pornhub did you scroll through here for this?
So not just is there a title or is there a movie with that title, but it has to be specifically a
superhero porn parody.
Oh, superhero porn.
Man of Steel. I'm going fake again. What do you got?
It's too good to be true. It's got to be real.
It is real.
Two. Remember, I work with teenagers. The dirty mind comes naturally.
After last year's successful film, Avengers Infinity War, we have the film Avengers Infinity Whores. Is this one real or fake?
That's got to be fake.
Oh, I'll go with fake.
It is fake.
All right. I'm on the
Points
board.
for everyone. I can't believe that's not a real one, by the way.
I'm sure you didn't look hard enough, probably.
Oh. Speaking of sequels, this one I don't think would count as canon anymore. But Avengers 2, Along Came a Spider. Real or fake? Avengers 2, Along Came a Spider. This film would have been released before Spider-Man Homecoming, obviously. Also, not one, but should be.
It doesn't sound like a good title. So inherently, like, it doesn't sound like it's a good title. It could be a porn, or it could be your lack of creativity, because I've seen some of the stuff you've tried to come up with. It's fake.
It's too bad for him to make up. I'm going to say real.
That one is real.
Oh!
Wow. The score is 2-2?
3-2, actually.
Oh, my mistake.
There goes the perfect game I had. I had a perfect game going.
I guess we'll stick with the theme of Avengers. This one isn't even released yet. There's only a trailer for this one. That's how fresh it is.
Wow. It is. Wow.
The newest superhero porn parody coming at you. Avengers.
Coming at you? Is that the name of it?
No.
Bad choice of words.
Is
Avengers.
it in 3D?
Avengers Rear End Game.
Why am I here? What is this?
Fake. I'm going fake.
It's real.
That one is fake.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Tied it up.
All right.
Here we go.
3-3. You sick bastard.
Next week on Jared's Sports Report, we'll have the recap of this exciting
How I blew a 3-0 lead in the porn parody game.
Well, if there's anything else that's popular right now, it is Game of Thrones. That is everywhere.
If you say Game of Bones, I'm leaving.
Well, the one is Game of Bones. Winter came everywhere.
What the hell?
Not asking for your opinions. I'm asking for real or fake.
See, I feel like Game of Bones would be a real thing, but you added the tagline "Winter came everywhere." It's like you kind of like to throw us off. But I also feel like you've had a couple like trying to like play it like a test. It's probably real.
I think it's real.
It is real.
I figured he wouldn't go for a Game of Thrones reference if it wasn't.
Oh no, there's not all. There are some pop culture ones in here.
Okay. How many of these did you come up with? How many of these are there?
To be honest, I didn't count.
Okay.
Right,
oh God.
And we're still tied. We'll have to call him at some point.
Yes.
Well, there's not that many.
Okay.
Thankfully,
You're so proud of yourself.
After barely seeing him in Infinity War, the Hulk has his own movie, which of course is titled "The Incredible Cock You Wouldn't Like Me When I'm Horny."
That's fake.
Fake. Yeah, fake.
That one is fake. I think that was my favorite one that I made up.
That's your favorite one you
That's
made
my
up?
favorite made up one.
You had a couple of better ones than that. That was the incredible. No.
You guys let me on one podcast a year. This one's gonna get flagged and like taken down.
Oh, that time I said I had a reputation to uphold, like a wholesome.
Where's
Well,
a flushing toilet?
There's
sound
nothing
effect
more
going on?
wholesome than the X-Men, but what of the XXX-Men?
Oh, that's real.
Fake.
That one is real.
That's too easy. That's too
I know.
easy. That's a layup.
All right, you got me by one.
Was it 6-5?
Something like that.
I pride myself on knowing more of the fake ones.
Well, this one is just crass.
If you got them all right or all
That's
wrong,
because I know Zach enough to tell his shitty humor.
I mean, they haven't had their movie yet, but if you want to see the Fantastic Four, you can always go watch the Fantastic Four.
Fake.
Let's go real.
That one is fake.
Damn. He opens up a commanding lead.
I've had a 3-0 lead before, and it went snapped away like that.
Generally considered to be the best video game of all time on the Nintendo 64, Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time.
I thought you were going to say like Leisure Suit Larry.
Have you ever watched its companion piece, The Legend of Zildo: Cocarina of Time?
That's too clever to be you. That's real.
That's real.
That one is real.
It's too clever to be you. Still a 2-point lead. Playing hard for that prize, baby. I'm just
It might surprise you to learn that there are some...
Would it surprise me?
Look, I'm not saying they're high quality, but there are some specific comic book ones.
Okay.
It's not all about the movies. Actually, this series just made a return, mostly popular in the 70s and 80s, the comic Marvel Team-Up. Well, you could always watch Marvel Double Team-Up.
That's fake.
Also fake.
That is fake.
Yeah.
I was like, that is too good and too.
That's
deep a
too.
dig.
That's too specific.
Yeah.
And plus, they would have gotten sued by Marvel.
No, I think it's under fair use.
Is it though?
I think
The
so.
name Marvel.
The name Marvel. I'm gonna start naming things Marvel and see if I can get a cut of the pie.
Do you remember the very popular movie 2008, Batman Rises? Or The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah. So let me guess. Wait, is this movie called Batman Rises?
It is not. This one is the strap-on based parody Batgirl Rises.
Strap-on based parody.
Batgirl Rises.
Hold on a second. Emily, is it fair that I feel uncomfortable during this game? Okay, there we go. Let's check with Emily. At least I feel gone too far down the rabbit hole. I'm gonna say that's fake. I'm gonna hope it's fake. But you're cackling.
I'll just say real because I gotta close this gap.
It's real. It's
You're
real.
Cackling. You're cackling led me to believe
Batgirl
otherwise.
Rises.
All right.
We are down to the final two.
Oh, okay. So all I got to do is get a push on one, and the worst that's going to happen is a tie.
This is another comic book based one, even though the first one was a lie.
The pressure is on here.
Actually, no, this is a movie based. Sorry, I lied. This is a movie based one.
Okay.
The comic one was a lie. No one cared.
No, they did.
You may have heard of the Marvel character Ghost Rider, but have you ever seen his parody movie Ghost Ride Her? There was a skull mask involved and a leather jacket.
Man, I feel like it's fake. You know way too many details about this.
I also knew the one about Batgirl Rises, and that was real.
Yeah, I guess you did, didn't you?
That was really based on the cover art.
Okay. That was some cover art.
Of course.
I gotta go fake as well.
That is a fake one.
All right. So
I almost took the chance.
you almost took the chance.
All right.
This is
the last one. I don't have a tiebreaker. I'm sorry.
Well, that was poor planning on your part.
Well, let's see if we can run away with our very first game with possible great prizes.
The best prize will be the end of this damn game.
I could play for comics. I'm throwing that out.
Okay, yeah.
This one's a little bit older. It came out about 11 years ago. Have you guys ever played the game Tomb Raider?
Yes.
Of course.
Well, have you ever watched the movie Womb Raider?
I'm going to say it's fake.
Oh, I gotta say real. I want to say fake, but I gotta say real because I gotta.
It is real.
What? No.
Yes.
What kind of people are there out there? Oh, it was a tie.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I didn't think we were going to get there. I'm sorry. There is no tiebreaker.
Everybody, just like this segment, everybody lost. Nobody won.
Just like the amount of viewers or listeners you had.
Oh, they tuned out
Everything
a while
lost.
ago.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that first game. The rest of them are not like that. Hopefully there'll be less sighing from the participants.
What was your muse for this for you? Like what?
I was just making up games. I have some other ones coming up.
Well, no, but like not making up games, but why this subject matter?
I just thought it was funny.
How much time did you spend researching this?
He's been talking about it for weeks.
You want the honest answer?
Is this why you're wearing glasses now?
About 5 minutes.
Have you-
I didn't put that much work
How's
into
your
this.
vision? Can we see your palms, or they become hairy after this?
No, most of them were really like terribly named. It was mostly like,
Oh, because they're supposed to be named nicely.
yes, I want the funny names. Most of it was like the Spider-Man porn parody. I'm like, that's not great. Like the Mighty Thor porn parody. I'm like, also not great. Like it was just mostly stuff like that.
Like Thor, Hammer of the Gods.
Yeah, there was not a lot of creativity in these names.
The Mighty Whore.
There you go. Yes.
Fake.
Yeah, point for Zach. I feel like with 10 minutes I could come up with some more creative ones than you came up with.
So you come back next week. You can give me your alternate titles.
Like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Poon.
I bet that's real.
That sounds real.
I'm just looking at your wall of movies and see what I can come up with just off the top of my head.
Lord of Cock Rings.
There you go. Yeah, that's probably real.
I mean, how many Star Trek porn parodies you figure?
Oh, that's probably.
A lot.
They're into aliens, certainly.
But this is going to take a while to edit, so let's wrap this sucker up.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed,
Bring us home.
If you enjoyed the show up until the last part, or even if you enjoyed the last part for that matter, visit us at patreon.com/editorsnotecomics for $1 a month. You get this show a whole day early. Wow, if you were paying for Patreon, you really got your money's worth there in the last 15 minutes. You also get Patreon exclusive spoiler and spoiler-free reviews of Buffy and Firefly and Angel, all from Zach and the...
He's got it now.
Yes, you're damn right. From Zach and Emily, as they go and dive into those worlds, and you can find out what's going on there. Plus, you can also $5. Well, he's here himself, Sound Guy Josh. $5 will make you a what?
I will make you your own custom Duke or Duchess little sound bite for yourself. It'll play over here, and you can keep it if you want.
Don't you want to be a kick-ass Duke?
Yeah, or Duchess. Yeah, the editor's note Duke.
You're so
editor's note
woke.
Duchess. Easy there. Let's settle out. Settle down. Time out. And you can also visit editorsnotecomics.com, plus the store, 210 Water Street in Hollowell. It's free comic book Saturday here on May 4th, plus 30% off everything in the store except for new releases. Also, the Hellboy contest going on. $10 gets you one ticket for the raffle. $20 gets you 3 tickets. It's a $300 value. It's all of the Hellboy omnibuses, hardcover, beautiful, unopened, never been read by human eyes copies of those books.
It's like a foot and a half of Hellboy books.
Yeah, foot and a half of Hellboy. There you go. There's another.
Well, he does have the right hand of doom. You could do something with that.
I'm sure he could. Josh is.
Hey, yeah. So if I could plug.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I work for Mix 107.9 and Cruising
Not much longer if
Country.
they get wind of you doing this pornography game.
You've never listened to the show, then, huh?
I've been on the show actually.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I had to get up at like 5 in the morning for that.
I had to get up at 4.
Yeah, they get up at like 3:30
Yeah.
every day. Coffee is a lifeblood of our industry.
It is.
But yeah, 107.9 The Mix right here, Cruising Country 93.5 right here in Maine, as well as I am going to be doing a live broadcast at the Skowhegan Home Show. Scow Vegas, as most of us know, next weekend, next Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So if you have a home and you want to learn
And
about
show
some
it off, bring it to
random
Skowhegan.
projects, yeah, then I'm going to be hanging out there with a bunch of folks.
Nothing big happening in Skowhegan recently.
And everyone's on Twitter.
I'm at Junior Rich.
I'm at Cap 10 America 1.
And I'm at the same thing I am for everything.
At Editors Note Comics.
That's me.
All right, what's on the agenda for next week?
Well, Jared, as you may know, it is the NBA playoffs.
Yes.
So I think next week we're going to find out what happened that one time the Ninja Turtles met Carmelo Anthony.
Wow.
What? Is this for real?
Yeah, it's real. It's not very good.
Of all the things that were real or fake, that one I find to be the most outlandish.
Fake.
Fake.
Oh man, he's doing so well right now, being on no team.
Oh, well.
You can tell this came out a couple of years ago.
Quite a few.
Hey,
Remember
guys.
that time?
Guys, thanks for having me. This was really
Hey,
cool.
always good to have you. Well, see you the next time there's an Avengers movie.
Or some porn guessing, I guess.
We'll have to come up with a better reason for you to be on the show than that.
All right, we will be back. Bye.